Welcome back to Get Down to Business. Thrilled to be joined by Rick Smith, the founding partner in Priority Sports and Entertainment. Rick, welcome to the program. Rick, are you with us?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business. So you have a fascinating business, a true Chicago success story. I believe partners grew up in Highland Park, and you've really developed an interesting operation representing the very, very best and top talent in the world of professional sports. Rick, how did it all get started? When did you start Priority Sports and Entertainment? Tell us the story.
Yeah, so basically, the Reader's Digest version, because it's a long, complicated story, but a friend of mine who was a year ahead of me at Highland Park High School and I went to University of Illinois together. After college, he went to business school at Northwestern. I went to law school at Northwestern. After that, I went into a law firm. He went for a year into the financial world. Somebody gave him an opportunity. His name is Mark Bartelstein, a very well-known, prominent agent in the basketball community. And somebody gave him an opportunity. I was his outside lawyer. And then 1995, I quit my job as a lawyer and went full-time into the sports agency world, and we've built it ever since. That's a long story short.
No, that's great. So you moved from the legal world. My understanding is that you still are able to use your legal knowledge and expertise in the world that you're living in. But primarily, it sounds like you are involved in reviewing. You're working with your clients. Again, the top talent in sports with many endorsement deals. Tell us what a day in the life of Rick Smith is like, and if you don't mind, I'd like to push this a little bit harder, and I'm curious, what are the greatest challenges in running your business, because you've certainly become that success story that we talked about?
Yeah, it's funny because, if you're a kid and you grow up a sports fan, where I always tell kids that are coming to talk to me about getting into the sports world that if you lined up all the sports fans, I told them if you'd started in Chicago, that line, goes out to California and probably further. So it's a very, very, very hard business to get into. You need a whole lot of being in the right place at the right time at the right moment, because there's very few of us who actually work full-time in the industry, can make a living doing it, and a whole lot of people that want to get in. The challenges day-to-day of being a sports agent and working with professional athletes and coaches, which is what I now do, you never know. I mean, literally, you never know. I'll give you an example. We walk into the office a couple days ago. You never know what's going to happen when you walk into the office. But and we had just signed a player named Gordon Hayward to the Boston Celtics, and 6 minutes into his first game, and that's well over $100 million deal. 6 minutes into his first game, he blows out his ankle in a gruesome fashion. So that was a whole to do and trying to figure all that out. And then 2 minutes later, we find out that on the Chicago Bulls, our client Bobby Portis got into a scuffle with one of his teammates at practice, and now that kid has a broken jaw, and it's a mess. So that was one day.
Fascinating.
It's like you have no idea. So it's just.
You're in the business of sports, and most people think of sports as something that they do on a Sunday morning to relax. But you're hustling all week long to make sure that people get to enjoy that experience. Some numbers that you have listed on your website are the billions, I believe, with a B, of dollars in contracts that you've negotiated just in the past few years alone. What's the secret to the success? Why Premier Sports as opposed to? I know you have some competitors out there. We won't name any names, but why are you guys better?
Well, it's Priority Sports first of all, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry,
not Premier. But anyway, I think the way we've approached this thing from the beginning is kind of separates us from our competitors. First of all, we've remained as an independent company for the 25-plus years we've been in business. Many agencies have been gobbled up by very large entertainment conglomerates like CAA, Creative Athlete, artists, WME. These are huge Hollywood agencies. But we decided that if we were going to basically go into the living room and sell ourselves as guys who are going to do it different, who's going to actually put your career in front of our interests, that we're about the bottom line, that we needed to remain independent. So, we're the guys that make the decision. We don't answer to anybody. There's nobody above us looking at our bottom line. We can constantly make decisions which is in the best interest of our clients as opposed to the best interest of us because, unless they get paid, we don't get paid. It's all a commission-based business.
So helping many of these folks build their career, but then also working with them on the marketing side, the endorsement deals, and the public relations as well.
Yeah, no, there's no question. I mean, that's, part of our, majority of our money comes in obviously from the contract revenue. We also have a staff of 7 people that are looking for always day in and day out, looking for off the court and off the field opportunities for our clients. And as far as appearances, television commercials, print ads, shoe company deals. So we have a whole staff of people doing that also.
Interesting. So I do a fair amount of visiting colleges and universities, talking to young professionals in a number of different industries, and I'm frequently asked for career guidance. And one of the questions that I'm asked quite regularly are folks, young adults that are looking to get into I guess your line of work, into the world of sports management, and sometimes on the media side, sometimes on the agency side, all different angles. What advice do you have for them?
Wow, it's I'll give you the spiel I give to I've always taken the position that if a young person needed some advice or needed somebody to talk to who's on the inside of the sports business, I would drop what I'm doing and help them out. Plenty of people help me out through my life, and what I basically tell them is you're looking to literally get into a impossible business to get into. The barriers of entry are humongous. Everybody's looking for experience, and how are you going to get experience if nobody will give you the chance to get the experience? I mean, that's the biggest dilemma that young people face. You just have to have kind of what I call two trains running down parallel tracks, meaning that you always look out for that opportunity that you may have in the sports world, but at the same time, just get yourself into the workforce. Develop some kind of expertise in something. Once you develop that expertise, then it's probably a little easier for you to go to that sports organization, whether it's a team, whether it's a union, whether it's an agency, to bring that expertise to them, because there's very few of us. I mean, there's probably 15 of us in the country that represent 90% of the players in each league. One of my friends is the owner of the Chicago Bulls. Other than basketball operations people, there's 75 people in that entire organization. So, I mean, you're talking about a huge barrier to entry and a lot of people wanting in. So you just have to hustle and network and build relationships, get some expertise in something, and then try to translate that into a sports career.
It's interesting what you said holds true, I think, in so many different industries. Everybody wants somebody that has the experience, but how do you get the experience? Nobody knows. You're right. It is all about networking. And I guess final question, because we are running out of time, is for entrepreneurs. You are running a business. It happens to be you're in the business of sports, as we mentioned. But what advice do you have for a young entrepreneur that's out there just starting their business, really regardless of what industry that they're in? Are there any lessons in business that you've discovered in your years in running Priority Sports that you would pass along to entrepreneurs these days?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think that, quickly, I just gave a talk over at the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern about this. People use the word networking. I like to think of it as relationship building. Take the word networking out of your vernacular and put in the words relationship building. You have to build relationships. Networking is a in and out, quick thing. Nobody remembers it. Building a relationship will get you to that next relationship, that gets you that next relationship, that gets you that referral, that gets you moving forward. Build relationships. Don't just have to be an in and out, nobody remembers you kind of thing. Take the word networking out. Talk about relationships. Think the word relationship. It'll get you a whole long way.
That's great advice, Rick Smith of Priority Sports and Entertainment. Very much appreciate your time, and I know that you have a website, prioritysports.biz, where folks can learn a lot more about the work of your fantastic team and some of the interesting talent that you're very fortunate to represent. But we appreciate your time here on the show.
No problem. Thank you, Shalom. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll be sure to follow the progress. Coming up after the break, we've got more tips, advice, and entrepreneurship coming up for you. You can always go to my website, shalomklein.com, so we can download podcasts from Get Down to Business, as well as get a sneak peek of who will be on in the coming weeks. We always have interesting guests, several hundred over the past few years, so check it out. Many great clips, many great podcasts. Be sure to share it with a friend, but we'll be right back after this quick break. Chicago, don't touch the dial. Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.
An AM 560.